As predicted on this channel, Rishi Sunak's government have once again betrayed Brexit and Brexiteers. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel that challenges the mainstream media and the political establishment, from the left-wing nutters to the globalist elite. Today's videos are going to be mostly about what happened yesterday and today in the House of Commons. The civil servants who have been trying to be a massive obstacle have won this battle when it comes to the 4,000 EU laws that still exist in our statute books. Now, this is also the Operation Throw the Right-Wingers Under the Bus. We predicted this when Rishi Sunak became leader and prime minister. He gave certain important jobs to people like Kemi Badenoch and Suella Braverman, knowing that they will fail and they will get all the blame. So Suella Braverman, but when it comes to the Home Office and the border control, despite all that, she's still trying her best to battle with Downing Street as well as the civil servants in the Home Office. She's struggling. Kemi Badenoch as well. She's become the face of the retaining, removing and scrapping and amending the EU laws that still exist in so-called Brexit Britain. So nothing. We haven't really seen or heard anything when it comes to Rishi Sunak himself as Prime Minister. He sent out Kemi Badenoch to do his dirty work and she's getting all the blame. And rightly so. At this point, if I were Kemi, I would just resign. Although resigning means giving up, but it's a bit of a problem right now because they've made a U-turn, a huge U-turn Downing Street on the 4,000 EU laws. They are not going to be removing all of them. Done. That's all gone now. So, with the battle against the not just civil service, but also the House of Lords. So, I have a situation where Rishi Sunak sent out Kemi Badenoch to give the public the bad news. Although they're trying to put their spin on it, saying, hey, we're still trying to work on it. This is a new approach we're taking, even though we're not really going to remove all the EU laws by the end of this year. We predicted this on this channel a while ago that this would easily happen. So we have this statement from the government saying that over the past year, the Whitehall departments have been working hard to identify retained EU law to preserve, reform or revoke. However, with the growing volume of the REUL being identified and the risks of a legal uncertainty posed by sunsetting instruments made under the EU law, it has become clear that the programme has becoming more about reducing legal risk by preserving EU laws than prioritising meaningful reform. So they admit this. Now, they said today, this was yesterday, the government is tabling an amendment for Lord's report, which will replace the current sunset in the bill with a list of the retained EU laws that we intend to revoke under the bill at the end of 2023. So the previous approach was, we are going to assume that all these laws are now gone. So we're going to see out of them which ones we can actually just keep and turn them into British law. And some could be amended and the rest will be removed. Now the new approach is, we're going to assume all the laws exist and they're going to stay. And then we're going to go through a few of them, about 600, and see if we're going to remove or amend and turn them into British laws or not. Absolutely disgusting behavior. So one big issue has been, obviously, the civil servants who have been massive obstacle. Tom Harwood on GB News actually told us about what the civil service have been complaining about. They've been complaining about, oh, it's too much work. It's going to take too much time. And they have won this battle.
The civil service say going through all of those laws would take too much time by the end of the year and it would be too labour intensive. Now, of course, we've had this discussion before on GB News. I've interviewed Jacob Rees-Mogg about it, and he says that this is really sour grapes from the civil service, that they should be going through every single one of these laws, and it's not an impossible task. But it does seem that the civil service does say that this is going to be too much work to do by the end of the year.
Too much work to do. It's going to take some time to go through all this. And this is a classic civil service tactic, the Sir Humphrey sort of tactic that we've seen in Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister, which was supposed to be a comedy show at the time in the 70s and 80s, but it's reality. But having said that, these are all excuses because politicians need to learn to not give empty promises or lies to the public. When Rishi Sunak was doing his leadership campaign to become prime minister only a few months ago, he did this massive video. He said in the first 100 days as prime minister, he will review or repeal all the post-Brexit EU laws. He actually even made this very, very nice video, this nice clip of him doing it. Yeah, you get the gist of it. As again, this channel, we did say these sort of things will continue to happen. The political stitch up against the will of the people will continue. And not only this will destroy the Tories in the next election, but this will destroy Brexit Britain, because if these EU laws remain in place, which at this point they will remain in place, so right now is basically like you have this purgatory moment where it's in the middle. It's a grey area. The moment the Tories lose the election, which at this point they deserve to lose, Keir Starmer, if he becomes Prime Minister and the left-wing coalition become government, then they have an opportunity to put a stamp on it and completely confirm every single one of these EU laws that will then transform the whole of the statute book. Then we can't remove any of them ever again, which means we will be permanently tied to the European Union. This is just step one of reversing Brexit or disrupting the system that we have. So the Tories have about a year and a half, year and so left to sort this out. But the way things are going, we are not really seeing any hope. But the Tory backbenchers are having a rebellion. We're going to talk about all this throughout the day, every half an hour. We got more updates on the reaction to this and many other news stories at the same time. We got some bad news from Bristol and Bristol Council, the Socialist Council, that are pushing for more net zero measures. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.